So earlier, I was going to show you some of the expectations that you may have on your mind about some of the results. So earlier, we wanted to know who will be the winner in this senatorial election. So we already know that Oloriegbe of the APC is the winner of this contest. So it does mean that one man will not be returning to the red chambers of the National Assembly. Intriguing indeed, isn't it? So let's go to yet another one. Who will be the winner of this contest? Kayode, Charles and Ayo. Interesting. Why is this interesting? Godswill Akpabio was a former minority leader of the Senate, but as soon as he left, a lot of people are wondering if he comes back into the Senate, what will be his lot? So let's look at yet another one. Why is this one interesting? Of course, we know who Adeyeye Adedayo is, and Abiodun Olujimi. She is the current minority leader of the Senate. Of course, we now know the result that she is not returning. One other result that one needs to look out for. Kayode, look at it. Abiola Ajimobi, one of the governors who are hoping to retire or go into the Senate against Kola Balogun, who is going to be the winner in this one. Another one to watch there. Yet another one to watch is between these two men. They were formerly in the APC together. You remember Charles? Izuna Osita was a former organizing secretary of the APC before he defected. He lost that election to get back as the organizing secretary of the party. Yeah, he's running now against Rochas Okorocha of the APC, the sitting governor in Imo State, who is going to emerge winner. Interesting indeed, I guess. So now this is another very interesting contest.
Certainly, sir.
I've had these two men on Politics Today on Channels TV. When both of them have gone into a debate, who is going to win in this one? We need to watch. A very eloquent member of the National Assembly. You know him, Smart Adeyemi, or former president of the NUJ. Also an eloquent member when he was on the Senate. Who will be the winner? We'll find out. So again, another one, of course. Why is this one interesting, Kayode? Ibikunle Amosun of Ogun State, yet another governor. On and on. Shehu Sani, you know, he was in the APC and has gone to the PRP. Now he's up against yet another similarly popular candidate of the APC. Two Sanis are going to be amidst others. Uba Sani, who will be the winner? Interesting one. And of course, we need to look at Ahmed Lawal. He's a majority leader of the APC in the Senate. Is he going to be returning or not? Eyes are on them. Another one is Senator Issa Misau, the one who fought the Nigerian police, a former police officer who is serving in the Senate. You know him very well. This, don't let us go into it because this will take a whole lot of time. Let me get a seat so that I can enjoy.
Please do. Please do. This is getting very exciting.
Getting pretty interesting.
Very exciting.
Well, all right, let me quickly go to Abuja. We have Ambassador Joe Keshi, a former permanent secretary, Ministry of Foreign Affairs, sitting in Abuja there. Now, some results have come in, and it's almost 48 hours after people went to the polls. What are your reactions, or what are your thoughts as the results are beginning to come in? The pace at which they are coming in, are they coming in too quickly? Are they coming in too slowly? Are we on course? Is there any reason for concerns? Are we doing great, Ambassador Keshi?
Well, let me start by saying that it's a welcome development that the results are finally coming in. And as you rightly observed, 48 hours after the election. And directly to your question, are we doing well? Is it too slow? And the rest of it. The truth of the matter is that it's very slow. And I think this evening, I was watching INEC launch. Was it launch or dedicated what they call was it the Collation Center or something like that this evening?
The National
And I really was amazed to hear that the long process, the unnecessary, elaborate process of getting these results to Abuja in an age of technology. We are still doing things in such a manual, manual way. And what is even interesting is that some of these results that you are now announcing, actually, they've been in the air all day. So it's that Saraki lost, its senatorial district. It was the first thing I read this morning when I woke up. So I think we need to begin to look at our process at the end of the day. In an age of technology, we should be able to do better. Because if you listen to the INEC chairman this evening, he enunciated about 11 or 12 steps of getting the results to Abuja. For me, it's very cumbersome. We should have solved this problem with technology. And it just occurred to me this evening, while listening to him and watching what was going on, that these are one of the reasons, when you look at the whole process, why the cost of election is very high in this country, because we do too many things that technology could have solved very easily and efficiently. Yesterday I said this thing, that we must begin to look at how others do things and not say, oh, we are unique, so we must do it our own way. No, we can buy some technology and get all the, all the results out as quickly as possible. But the point I want to make is that these results, look, when election is, as soon as the polls close, they start counting. They place some of the results on the wall in some polling centers. So people begin to send it around. INEC should be able to, come up with a way of saying some of these things can get to us before midnight, and then we announce this thing as early as possible. Because I left watching a football match this evening, for example, to when I got a message that INEC was going to start announcing the results, only to find out that they were launching a collating center, and then we were invited to come back tomorrow by 11 a.m. or thereabout. So we need to make the process much, much faster, more because there is enough technology to assist us with the process.
Mr. Woshene, I see that as he was making that point, you were responding. What's your reaction to this?
I must first say that I'm not a political analyst. I've been a policeman for 35 years, but it's obvious. The ambassador said it all. Have we learned any lesson in this country? No. Even when you look at the process of selecting who is INEC chairman, there is a concept of knowledge management where you have the best practices. You do an after-action review. You archive the knowledge, you look at what has been done that were done in a good manner. Things that were not done right, how do we correct it? You had the high point of INEC thing with Professor Jega. Professor Jega worked with some commissioners in INEC. You have people like, I think Professor Gumola, Igini, all of them, who have been working on these election things for many years, and some other national commissioners in INEC who have been there. And when you now want to appoint a chairman, you bring in a new person. So that is to say that whoever that you are bringing new, we just have to start again. And that is why we're not getting it. Logistic. We should have been able to solve it. And there is video teleconferencing, for God's sake, that can be used to collate results. Why should someone probably travel when even in the course of traveling to Abuja, the person may be involved in an accident? It is no more an excuse to say that because our country is large. No. This is the only country where you spend so much conducting election. India is bigger than us, for God's sake. And look at the billions of naira that is put into this election. And that is why people are saying, go and even give each of the citizens 2 million naira or 3 million naira. They will go about it and they would be less concerned about who is voting and who is not voting. Why should we even restrict people's movement? We are saying, no, because of the nature of Nigeria. We always give that excuse. Because of nature of Nigeria. Should we continue to do the same thing?
As a former policeman, are you then saying that really we don't have to shut down the country?
I don't think it is necessary, for God's sake. And, you know, that is why I keep on repeating, let us do an audit. Let us do what they call an after-action review. What did we do right? What you know, for my constituency, I still somehow see myself as a policeman. Sometimes we fool ourselves that we use the staggered election as the basis upon which we judge ourselves. Because when you use staggered election to judge yourself as performing well, you have done nothing. Because during staggered election, you pull resources from other places to that state where voting is taking place. And you are now coming to judge yourself. We had the 2015 general election that was adjudged as one of the best. I was Commissioner of Police Operations Admin in Force Headquarters when that election was held. A lot of things took place. I think a year or 2 years before that time, the IG, MD Abubakar, set up a planning committee. I was the principal staff officer to the IGP, MD Abubakar, where we looked at all those things. And of course, processes were put in place until the IG Abba Suleiman came. Has anyone even looked at how that election went? What did we do well as a police institution that we can repeat, so that we will not reinvent the wheel? What have we not done well that we can improve upon, especially with regards to this synergy? I know that we created a joint operation room that time. We approached the UNDP to help us put certain things in places. And these are things you can go and look at, see how you can improve on them. And not until at a point in time, yes, the Inspector General of Police is new, we should give him time. The police need to earn his respect back, so that the other security institutions will be able to surrender that authority to the police when you have internal security operation. And of course, you know, I mentioned that we must be ready to have a police. If you continue to underfund the police and not provide anything for them, you cannot have a good police. Policemen, the Nigeria police men, are magicians. You wonder how they even go about performing the job. You send policemen out there from different areas. Who caters for them? How much do you give them? How much vehicles are police acquired even before the election? Just like I mentioned, that the Minister of Interior said, oh, for the period that the former IG was IG, no one presented any memo at FEC for the police to get their infrastructure. Yet, you are funding all other institutions. You are proliferating security institutions. And when there is a failure, the police carry the burden. It's the police that you will still come back to say that the security institution has failed. Meanwhile, what you should have put in the pocket of the police to strengthen that institution, you keep on, you know, filtering these things away to lesser institutions that will not call to account when there is failure.